Hi and welcome everybody to this short brief session. We're going to talk about wake vortex in cruise. You know about it, it's an invisible threat, so let's go through the basics. First, how is the wake vortex generated? Well, positive pressure under the wing, negative pressure on top of the wing, there's a natural tendency for the positive pressure to roll around the wing. While you're flying, this disturbs your airflow and therefore creates the wake vortex. They act as two counter-rotating vortices behind the airplane. So a few numbers. In cruise, you can find a wake vortex behind an aircraft up to 15 nautical miles. They tend to fall in time at a rate of 300 to 500 feet per minute. And therefore you can find them at 1,000 feet below the aircraft. But these numbers are rough order of magnitude. They depend on several factors. They depend on the aircraft weight. The heavier the aircraft, the stronger the wake vortex. The wingspan. The longer the wingspan, the longer the wake vortex will live in the air. And also weather. In good weather, wake vortex lives longer. Now, for those of you who are flying sharklet aircraft and might wonder if that has an effect, the answer is no. Where the sharklet is good for performance, they act as a wingspan extension and therefore those vortex will live longer in the air. If we look from a top-down view, we can have a distance behind the aircraft and different zone where the severity differs. A severe zone is right next to the generating aircraft. Then an unstable zone where the encounter might be felt like atmospheric turbulence, and then the breakdown zone. So what does it look like or feel like when we have an encounter? Now, let's imagine I'm following an aircraft and I'm converging at a 10 degrees convergent angle. This is the worst case scenario. I'm coming to the right of that generator aircraft, and therefore my left wing is going to first feel the wake vortex. As I'm coming into the wake vortex, my left wing will roll slightly to the right, and then as the full body of my aircraft would be within the wake vortex, there will be a stronger roll on the opposite direction. So a small roll on one side and a stronger roll on the other side is the signature of a wake vortex encounter, not altitude loss. So as prevention and reactive measures, what do we say at Airbus? Well, first, if you are following an airplane and you have wind, prefer upwind to that aircraft. The wind will push the vortex away. If you're on a route converging with another aircraft, those of you who are flying the North Atlantic charts know about this. If you can, prefer 1 to 2 nautical miles to the right of your route. Remember also the ICAO separation minima. You might be familiar for cruise, 5 nautical miles, 1,000 feet. That helps you avoid the severe zone that we talked about, but not avoid all cases of encounters. These are preventive measures. You can look for visible contrails. These are good hints as well. Now, should you encounter a wake vortex, keep the autopilot on. The autopilot is perfectly able to manage the roll signature that we talked about. If the autopilot is off, release the control, wait for stabilization, and then recover trajectory. Finally, do not use rudder. The rudder does not help in recovering from a wake vortex. I encourage you to read 3 interesting articles. Safety First magazine number 21 has a good article on wake vortex encounters. The Airbus Flight Crew Technique Manual has a dedicated chapter on wake vortex encounter. Also, the EASA Safety Information Bulletin also talked about the subject. So I hope you found this short brief session interesting, and I'll see you around for the next one.